Before you start using the Pomodoro technique, there's a few things that you might need to know because if you skip these, Pomodoros can feel restrictive, frustrating, or like one more thing to manage. And I see this all the time with the smart, ambitious women that come to me for coaching. They're already feeling overwhelmed. They're excited to try the Pomodoro technique, but they jump in without really a foundation. So today in this video, I want to walk you through the 5 things I always make sure that my clients understand first, whether I'm working with them one-on-one or we're launching into a get it done weekend. So that Pomodoros actually support you instead of adding more pressure. The Pomodoro technique is a simple rhythm of 25 minutes of focused work and 5 minutes break. It's simple, but that doesn't mean it's going to come automatically to you. And what I've found is that when something doesn't work, it's usually because our expectations are not set up correctly from the start. So these 5 things that I'm going to share with you are going to remove that friction around your expectations before it shows up so you can set yourself up for success. So the first thing I want to share with you is a Pomodoro is a support structure. You're allowed to adjust it a little bit. You're allowed to pause. You're allowed to stop for the day and not do Pomodoros every single day. If you approach the Pomodoro technique like something you have to obey, it's going to feel heavy. If you approach it like something that's there to support your focus, it works beautifully. One of the things that's going to help you with this is to go into it with the mindset of less is more, which leads me beautifully into thing number 2. You don't need a full day of Pomodoros. In fact, you absolutely do not want to set up your day that way. You know, a lot of times we think if something works well we'll just do more of it, right? That's not how I use it at all. And if I did, I think I would go crazy. And it's not how I teach it. Pomodoros work best in focused blocks, not nonstop through the whole day. A few intentional Pomodoros can move the needle more than an entire scattered day where you're kind of trying to cram in as many as possible. This alone is going to relieve a lot of the pressure as you're going into using this technique. The third thing that I want you to keep in mind as you approach Pomodoros is task size matters more than motivation. When a Pomodoro feels hard, it's rarely because you're unmotivated. It's usually because the task that you've decided to do in that Pomodoro block is too big. Or maybe it's too vague or not clearly defined. Now, this comes up all the time with my clients. And if you can't stay with a task for 25 minutes, that's really useful information. It means the task maybe needs to be broken down, not pushed through. When you use Pomodoros correctly, they reward clarity, focus, not force and pushing through. The guiding principle that I've been using since I started my business 20 years ago, which is to underpromise and overdeliver. When we promise less and break things down, we feel better. We're more motivated and we're more likely to do another Pomodoro. If we're pushing through and trying to fit too much into a 25-minute container, we're going to feel exhausted by the end of it. And we'll feel really guilty if we do not finish the task in the 25 minutes. We'll feel like we failed. You want to set yourself up for success by underpromising so you can over-deliver with every single Pomodoro that you sit down to. The fourth thing to keep in mind is the break, 3 to 5 minutes, are part of the work. I always say this early because high-achieving women love to skip breaks. The break is not optional. It's not a reward. It's part of the system. Those breaks protect your ability to focus again. They help your nervous system reset. They keep you in momentum. When your Pomodoros stop working, it's often because you're not taking the breaks. The fifth thing, Pomodoros work best inside a plan. So a Pomodoro on its own is helpful, but a Pomodoro inside a plan is really powerful. That's why I pair Pomodoros with the 90-day plans or the weekly top 10 in the momentum system with my clients. Because if you're going to look at your projects for the next 90 days and you intentionally break them into Pomodoros, you're giving yourself a clear map of the Pomodoros that you're going to use as you work through each day. So you don't have to figure that out each day. You've already decided what matters most. And then the Pomodoros are this vehicle to help you execute that without overthinking. But without a plan, a Pomodoro just amplifies your indecision. If you catch yourself doing a 25-minute Pomodoro and moving in one direction and then a 25-minute Pomodoro moving in another direction, and you're all over the place, it's because you're missing that bigger picture. So yes, Pomodoro technique is a great way to maximize your productivity and your time. But if you don't have a clear destination in mind, all you're going to do is get more efficient. You want to make sure you have a 90-day plan, you have an annual plan, you have a clear weekly plan, and then you simply plug the Pomodoro technique into executing and implementing the items in that plan. Once you understand the 5 things that I just covered, your Pomodoros will stop feeling so rigid. You really get how it's a focus container. It is a boundary. It is a way for you to execute the bigger plan, to finish work instead of dragging things out. And this is exactly why I teach it the way that I do, especially for women in business who already carry a lot of different responsibilities. If you want a little bit more help applying and understanding Pomodoros, make sure you download the Pomodoros cheat sheet, which is linked below. It's going to walk you through how to plan, run, and review your Pomodoros in a way that actually fits with your life. And if you're wondering what this looks like in practice, the tools, how you do the timing, and all that nitty-gritty details, you'll want to watch my Pomodoro Technique setup for busy women in business as your next video. I'm going to walk you through exactly how I set up my Pomodoros and why simplicity is critical. I created this YouTube channel for women in business who want inspiration, they want momentum, and they want real strategy, not feeling pressured all the time. If that sounds like you, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I add new videos every single week. And keep in mind, you don't need to do everything. One focused Pomodoro done well can change the tone of your entire day. I'll see you in a moment.